Hello, AP Environmental Science students. In today's screencast, we are going to finish up Chapter 3, which is Ecosystems. What are they and how do they work? All of today's notes are based off of Living in the Environment, the 16th edition by Miller and Spoolman. So Chapter 3:6 goes over how scientists study ecosystems. In earlier chapters, we talked about some similar things. There are no major vocab words in this section, but it's important to understand how we get a lot of the data and the information that we're actually studying in this class. So the main ways that scientists study ecosystems are through field research, laboratory research, and mathematical or other models to get our data and learn about ecosystems. So some scientists study nature directly, and that's through field research, or in other terms, muddy boots biology. This involves observing and measuring the structure of natural resources and what happens in them. So actually going out into the field, kind of like we did with our field trip. In field research, scientists often conduct controlled experiments, or they're just observing, or they're just collecting data. For us, when we went and did our field trip, we were just observing, we were just collecting data. We didn't actually set up an experiment and leave things there and come back and take continuous data. We were just observing what was there. To aid scientists in their field research, there's a lot of new technologies that are coming out that help them with their data collection. So recently we've started using aircrafts and satellites with remote sensors that help scientists to scan and collect data on the Earth's surface. GIS, or Geographic Information System software, helps to capture, store, analyze, and display geographic or spatial data. Digital satellite imaging helps to create 2 and 3D dimensional maps. And in 2005, they began this Global Earth Observation System of Systems, or GEOSS, which was a 10-year program to integrate data from sensors, gauges, buoys, satellites to monitor the Earth's surface, the ocean, and the atmosphere. Some scientists will study ecosystems in the lab. So scientists here set up, observe, and make measurements of model ecosystems. So these are simplified systems that can be carried out in culture tubes or bottles, aquariums, greenhouses, indoor and outdoor chambers. At the end of this unit, you guys are going to be making small little ecosystems in little chambers, and that would be an example of laboratory studies. Most of the experiments we're going to do in this class are going to be laboratory-based studies, not field research. However, a lot of times scientists will combine their laboratory studies and field research together to help them analyze and come up with their results. Lastly, some scientists use models to simulate ecosystems. So scientists use computer simulations and projections to help them understand large and very complex systems that can't be adequately studied and modeled in field and laboratory research. So again, I used the example before, but when you're looking at the weatherman on TV predicting the weather for the next couple of days, they're using computer simulations. They're using basic past weather patterns to interpret current weather patterns and kind of predict what's going to happen next. Field and laboratory research is needed prior to building these simulations so they can create baseline data and have an idea on which to build these simulations. Again, if we didn't know what the weather patterns did usually, it would be very hard for our weathermen or women to predict what weather would be like in the next couple of days. So one of the main goals right now in the field of environmental science is to learn more about the health of our ecosystems. We need a lot more baseline data so we can use it for comparison in the future. We need to see how our world is changing. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? We need to determine the current conditions of our world's ecosystem so we can say hey, we've had these major changes. It's showing declining health, or it's showing improved health. And only once we have these baseline data where we can actually do comparisons can we develop these effective strategies for preventing or slowing degradation. If we don't know if a strategy is helping or harming, we can't say yes, this is an effective strategy. Same thing, if you couldn't go to the doctor and see if you broke a bone, if an x-ray healed, through an x-ray if it healed, if you thought the best method to fixing a broken bone was walking around on it, but you felt fine and you didn't know if it was broken or not, you don't have that baseline data to say like, no, that's not what it's supposed to look like. So we need some sort of comparison data to figure out like our strategies to help to fix it.